Thanks, Rick and Sue. Hello again. Welcome to the program, which we begin with WA's power port. With its billion-dollar iron ore deals, the Pilbara is the powerhouse of the nation, and at the heart of the boom is Port Hedland. Everything there is bigger than big. Titanic ships, the world's largest loaders, working round the clock on dangerous billion-dollar missions. Tonight, Natalie Bonjolo takes an up-close look at the amazing mouth of a mining monster.
There's not too many ports around the world that can stake a claim to what Port Hedland's doing.
It has to be run with almost military precision. If one ship is delayed here for a tide, then we're talking $30 million worth of lost production.
You can see our vessel here.
It's the biggest boy's toy that you can handle.
Welcome to Port Hedland.
This is the engine room of the boom, the mouth of a mining monster. 1,700 kilometres north of Perth is the Pilbara town of Port Hedland, where WA's mining industry feeds the world's hunger for iron ore.
This is the world's largest bulk export port.
The sheer scale of what's happening here is extraordinary. They're shipping iron ore around the clock, and to get it out fast enough, it's a monumental mission, a massive land, sea and air operation.
As dawn breaks, down below Port Hedland is pretty as a picture.
Look at that sun.
He's not flying the chopper, but Mark Eyre is a pilot, a marine pilot.
And you can see our vessel here, Brendan, one just coming through the middle of the pack there.
16 kilometres out to sea, an amazing sight.
Wow, there they are down there. You can see the ships lined up like planes on a runway.
Dozens of iron ore carriers, and they're literally banked up, smack bang, in the middle of the Indian Ocean.
This one's just picked up its anchor. The vessel's proceeded to a designated position, which is the pilot boarding station, in preparation for our arrival.
We're about to touch down on the Shurong Harmony. Makes our ride look like a dinky toy. 345 metres long and 60 metres wide. That's the length of 7 Olympic-sized swimming pools and 1.5 pools in width.
Massive would be a word.
We might be in Australian water, but we've just landed on Chinese territory.
Can you ask Captain heading and speed, course speed?
8 north, 190.
As of now, it's Mark who's in charge of this monster.
Okay, so there's the bridge. That's 6 stories above the deck.
On the bridge, the captain hands over the keys.
Morning, Captain.
Morning, sir.
Are we your pilot today?
Navigating a ship this size into Port Hedland is so risky, only a handful of people in the world can do it.
It's one of the most, if not the most difficult port.
When Port Hedland was built 40 years ago, a 14.5 metre deep channel was dredged 24 miles out to sea. With tides, the channel rises enough for a fully loaded ship to draw 19 metres of water, with a clearance of just 25 centimetres under keel.
Port Hedland has a bit more limitations than a lot of other ports in the fact that we have very strong tidal conditions here.
The tide can drop by up to 7 metres, leaving an ore carrier high and dry.
If the port gets closed, we're talking more than $200 million a day in lost production.
For any given ship, the sailing window is as little as 30 minutes.
We sail quite routinely now 5 ships on a tide, which means that from the beginning of a sailing window to the end of a sailing window, we've got ships sailing 30 minutes apart.
The slightest delay in berthing this beast could cost millions.
If there's a delay, then one of the ships is going to miss out. We can't sail outside that window. These ships are carrying $20 to $30 million worth of cargo, so if a ship gets delayed, it's going to get delayed till the next tide.
Started 20.
Looks like plain sailing, but the slightest error could be catastrophic.
So we changed from almost unlimited manoeuvring space, now at the point of no return.
The width of the channel is 190 metres. The ship is 60 metres, but it's sailing on an angle, leaving just 45 metres clearance on either side.
We've got a tide pushing us on the starboard quarter, which is why we're angled up that way.
To steer the ship into port, it'll take a team of tugs. Each tug attaches to the carrier by rope.
They'll just escort us in.
From the main drag in town, a skyscraper sails by. From the bridge, it's a billion-dollar view.
We regularly have 30 or 40 vessels sitting off the port.
As Port Hedland's harbour master, John Finch oversees every vessel in and out.
It's our jobs to make sure that the mining companies can successfully get their product out to their markets.
Fortescue Metal is just one of the mining giants which transports its iron ore hundreds of kilometres to the port and onto its customers.
Whether that be in China or Japan or Korea or any of the Asian powerhouses, it's our job to successfully manage that transition of product through the port.
The carriers are loaded via massive conveyor belts. This one operated by a Fortescue worker sitting 10 stories high.
This is one of the largest loaders in the country, and it's pouring out 8,000 tonnes of iron ore an hour. Now, to give you an idea of just how much ore that is, that's enough to make 2 small cars per second.
Imagine 2 V-dubs per second, and it'll take more than 30 hours just to fill this ship. That's the equivalent of Beatles lined up bumper to bumper from Perth to Albany and all the way back again. Or enough ore to build 5 Sydney Harbour bridges, and that's just one shipload. In 12 months, enough iron ore will pass through Port Hedland to build 3,845 Sydney Harbour bridges, a staggering $50 billion worth of black gold.
The danger here is something going wrong, and the impact that would have on the mining industry and the state as a whole.
Back on the bridge, Mark is about to negotiate the most dangerous manoeuvre of this mission.
We'll be doing a double shuffle here. One ship coming into the harbour, into the basin, the other ship leaving, and as that ship leaves, we slot in just in behind. 1
small port, 2 titanic vessels. For the Shurong Harmony to berth, it will have to turn a full 180 degrees at the same time as a second outgoing ship pulls away, allowing the Shurong to berth in its place.
Gandiara reduced to half.
From port side, every inch of the 2-ship shuffle is choreographed, a finely balanced ballet of pushing and pulling.
So, Captain, the other ship is off the berth, just soon starting to move ahead.
As the loaded ship pulls away, the Shurong swings round. There's no room for error.
Slow ahead, Captain.
Slow ahead.
A 180-degree turn in one of the world's tightest ports. Finally, the steel monstrosity is pushed into berth.
And I thought parallel parking was hard.
Well, this is valet parking with a difference.
At the majority of Port Hedland's 12 berths, ships like this one are attached by rope.
Normally it would be about a 45-minute operation.
Here at a berth operated by John Giles, the Port Authority is using a unique vacuum system that literally sucks the ship in.
And in about 40 seconds the vessel is berthed. This is the first bulk loading port in the world that's used it.
Back on the Shurong, the ship is secured and Mark's mission complete.
MA, go for it. Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, on the way down there.
Waiting down below is Warren Kemp, the pilot's pilot.
When we're in here, they always like to see us because it means their job's done for the day.
It's a steep, wobbly walk down the gangway, and next to the Shurong, our lift looks like a rubber ducky.
I've brought some people out on the boat and you see reactions on their faces when they go up alongside something this big.
Like everything out here, the sheer size is mind-blowing. Big ships, big tides, big bucks.
It's a supply chain, so everybody's got their little link in the chain, and we're only as strong as the weakest link.
Tonight, when the tide is high, ships like the Shurong Harmony will deliver WA's iron ore from Port Hedland to the world.
It's a fantastic feeling, and you really go home feeling good about what you've done.
Port Hedland Port Authority expects to double its exports in the next 2 years. Natalie Bonjolo in Port Hedland there.